What's happening? It's the Reverend, ain't nothing but some more of it. YouTube, welcome to my channel. I am MCD Swift. The reason why they call me MCD Swift is because I MC concerts. I MC clubs. I host your parties, bar mitzvahs, sweet 16s, whatever. I'ma host it. And I manage artists. The reason why I'm giving you all of this background on me on this video, this particular video, is because of the topic that we are going to touch on today. So let's get into it. Asian Doll is from Dallas, Texas. I am from Houston, Texas. Shout out to all of my Texas people. Now, she had a concert in her hometown of Dallas. Somebody booked her, brought her out. Now, let's pause right there. When you book an artist, two things happen. You send the front end. The front end is the deposit. That secures the date. That secures that the artist won't take any other dates on that date at that time. Now they can take it on that date before or after for an after party, but at that time frame you want them to be there, then they're booking that time, and so basically they're missing out on money because they're looking for you to provide the back end. The back end is the other half of the money that you agreed to pay them. Okay? So they've brought Asian Doll out to her city, which is Dallas. And they were supposed to promote the show. When a promoter books an artist, the artist is not responsible for promoting the show. They may help by sending you a picture of them doing a video drop to promote, saying, hey, I'm Asian Doll. I will be at Club Lux on this particular day. Come rock out with the gang. That's probably what they gonna say. You take that to your promotional team and you promote the flyer. You promote that she's gonna be there. You promote the concert like it's the biggest thing ever to hit that particular town. I've seen people rock out and bang out and make a bunch of money at the door on artists that are not even as big or as known as Asian Doll. But it's all how you package something. And they didn't package the show well, obviously, because a lot of people didn't show up. No fault to Asian Doll, because you can have Beyonce at your club, and if you don't put out the information and you don't promote it, then people will not know that Beyonce is going to be at your club. So they won't show up. Case in point. But it's not the artist's fault. People always want to blame the artist. Oh, they didn't bring anybody. Nobody wanted to come see them. It's not that. It has to go, there's a bunch of different variables. And I'll give you a couple different variables, okay? You got to look at, is there anything else going on in the city at that particular time that may be bigger than what you have going on? Or any other promoters that are bigger than you having an event? Because in certain cities, everybody knows who's the who's of who of the promotional game and the nightlife in their city. They know this if you go out. That's just something that's known. If they are having something and you're not that big of a promoter, then maybe you should switch your event to another day. Or if it's on different sides of town, it'll work. Like if they're doing something on the south side of town, you're from the north side of town, that'll work, because in Houston, a lot of north side people travel to the south side, but a lot of south side people don't travel to the north side to party. That's just how it works. So you know what's going on in your city. So Asian Doll pulls up to this show. It's not a packed house. The guy does not want to pay Asian Doll her back end. When the artist arrives, before they even get out of the Sprinter van, the SUV, whatever they pull up in, the manager goes in and says, hey, Asian Doll is outside. Let's take care of the back end. He refused to pay the back end. He didn't want to pay. So, but this is Asian Doll City. She's from Dallas. With her being from Dallas, of course you love your hometown. You love your hometown fans. You don't want to disappoint them because this is where you're from. They watched you grow up. So you want to make something of yourself, come back and give them a good show. She ended up doing the show anyway, which I'm in limbo about that because sometimes your passion and your heart can put you in a situation because at the end of the day, this is business. And you want to keep your name good, I understand, because the fans don't know the back end of the business. They don't know what goes on behind closed doors. They don't know that the guy wasn't paying you the back end. All they know is you didn't show up. And that's all they're going to do is bash you on social media, all that. I paid this money to see Asian Doll. She didn't show up to the concert. And the promoter is not going to defend you. They're not going to tell these people, well, I didn't want to pay her the back end or I didn't have the back end to pay her. Any of these things. They're not going to do that. So it could hurt your brand. But at the end of the day, this is still business. And I would have, if me as her manager, if I was her manager, I would have advised her not to do it. We're going to do damage control. We're going to get on social media. We're going to tell them, hey, the business wasn't right. That's why I'm not doing the show. But on a later date, I will be back. And then with me being on the club scene and all of that, I would have booked my own show in Dallas with my artists. And I would have packed it out because I would have went to radio. I'd have hired some of the who's of who in promotional game in Dallas. And I would have packed that show out. And I'd have made sure that my artists had a tremendous show. And we would have shitted on what they did to us. That's what I would have did. But she decided that she wanted to do the show, which I'm not faulting her for it. So she went and she did the show. And then she got on social media and she said, hey, I'm never performing in Dallas again. These promoters are trash. They didn't pay me my back end. And now I'm gonna legally sue them, okay? And she'll probably win because they have to send over a contract. They signed the contract saying that this is how much they agreed to pay. And there are different clauses in there saying that you have to cancel before this date or, or just whatever. So she's going to win that case. But the guy actually got online and made a video saying, how is it my fault? Of course I'm not going to pay you the back end. You couldn't even pack out a club in your own city. This your city. And you couldn't even pack it out. I'm not gonna give you no more money. And everybody that knows Asian Doll knows she has a song that's hot right now called None of That Shit. And he made a little joke or whatever at the end of his video saying, I guess they ain't give a damn about none of that shit. And everybody in the crowd laughed or whatever that was out there with him. But for one, bro, you doing all of this for 15 minutes of fame or whatever you doing it for, you ruining your own brand because there's artists out there that you're going to want to book that's not going to want to book with you because they're going to think that you're not going to pay them their back end. Everybody not going to deal with things the exact same way. Yeah, I know. Everybody gangster. Everybody hard. I'm not worried about none of these niggas doing nothing to me. And I understand. But everybody's not going to take you playing with their money lightly. If somebody traveled somewhere, that means they spent money to travel. Because she no longer lives in Dallas. So they spend money to travel there out of the front end and the deposit that you've already paid them, they've took money out of that to travel. So they spent their money to travel to you just for you not to give them the money. Now, sometimes they do have such and such plus travel. So they'll have you pay whatever this price is, and then they say plus travel, which means that you pay for the hotel and you pay for the flights. But some do, like, let's say $15,000 all in. If they say all in, that means that they take care of their own travel and everything. This is just your flat rate of what they have to pay. But with that being said, leave in the comments below. Do you agree that the promoter should have paid Asian Doll? Or do you agree that he should not have paid her because people didn't show up? To me, it's a no-brainer. I believe that he should have gave her money because that's your responsibility as a promoter. You should already show up to the club or the event or the venue with the back end and your bills for security and the DJ, the MC, whoever you have to pay. You should show up with that money already in your pocket. You shouldn't be waiting on what the event is going to do so that you can pay the person they back in. That's irresponsible and that's bad business. But like, subscribe, turn on your post notifications, because I'm going to keep on dropping these videos until I see the subscribers are gradually building up. I see the views are gradually going up. So please like, please subscribe, please share my videos, and I'm going to give you more of this content, one to grow on.